Good evening, everybody. My friends from Twitter and Facebook, and over on YouTube. Um, this is just Heather again from Epilepsy Cures and Alive in Me on Twitter. Just saying a wonderful good evening and to see how everyone's day has gone. I've had a few seizure definitely oriented days. Had a lot of stress, a lot of excitement, and lack of sleep. And that was by choice from the excitement. Um, However, so I'm just curious as to how all of you are doing and what's been triggering if you're having seizures right now. What's triggering yours? When I don't get sleep, I pretty much get a spanking of them. And stress is also a huge factor. And sometimes you don't feel like you're stressed, but you are. um, but it just, you have to keep a focus on inside you what's going on. But it's been actually, otherwise, it's been really a great week. We just came home from a friend's house whom, I thank God for them, Amy and her husband, Tom. Tom had brain surgery this last year. Um, and it was odd and amazing. It's a God thing how we actually connected. It was through my other friend, Amy, who was my mentor, is my mentor at my church through when I was going through some tough times and trying to understand how does God forgive me for all this stuff, and she really helped me understand, and through all of it brought me to my second brain surgery, and she was there for me. And so when my friend, this friend tonight, Amy, went to my mentor, Amy, she went to her for prayer for her husband as to what do we do? I need prayer because God needs to tell us what to do. It was just, they were very frightened. I thank God because for some reason He made me just so laid back about it. But I totally understand when people are very frightened. I can see why. I just don't understand why that's something He gave me a gift not to be. Um, Maybe because I just didn't grow up knowing Jesus, and He knew I was going to have faith later, definitely, to get through it. However, we had a great night tonight, and we're able to talk about a bunch of stuff. And he's been seizure-free now for about a month and a half, with a lot of less stress in his life, which is just a blessing, and it has to feel awesome for him, and feels great for her. Because, like I said, it's very stressful for the other half, too. And that's when I'm going to be bringing my husband in tomorrow to talk about that. Because, I got to thinking and talking to my friend Amy about that and how stressful it can be. And when actually you've never known about seizures, that's really tough. And it just gets introduced to you. Because my husband and I, back when we were dating, he always knew I had them and stuff, but because we were dating from afar, he never saw them. And he finally did when he came out to visit from Seattle down here to Arizona. And did I ever kill the first night there? But I introduced him, and he totally saw everything from a new perspective. And he says he fell twice as in love with me, just out of the love of the strength that I've had and been talking to him about, but he had never seen. So just know that through it all, other people do see your strength. So he got to witness my complex partial seizure first, and we were getting ready to go to church. And I obviously, I was on a drug back then, a medication that did not like me. It actually made my heart race, and I don't usually have any form of anxiety, but it gave it to me. It made me have heart palpitations. And I hear it's a wonderful drug for so many, but it makes my heart flip, which was Lamictal. And so that one caused a lot of seizures in me, as opposed to ridding them. But he came out of the bathroom, and I was sitting there putting on lipstick, and in the middle of it, I began And, I just do this whole fondling, thing. I mean, lip smacking. I always do a lip smacking, I guess. I don't get to watch it much, but they get to. But then afterwards, I'm very emotional. Not purposely on my behalf because I'm embarrassed or anything. It's just connected and wired to my emotional side. And I just fell into tears, and he just didn't know what to say, but he just rubbed my back and hugged me and wanted to know what went on. And I really prayed that that was the end of it. I'm like, wow, I hope that was just one out of the blue. But it built up more anxiety, and because that happened, and it had been a few months since it happened, anxiety set in, and I tried to fall asleep. I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't fall asleep because of that. I couldn't fall asleep because of the amygdala. I finally began to semi-doze, and the moment my eyes began to, I fell into a humongous grand mal seizure for him that he got to witness. So, poor sad soul. I'll never forget actually waking up from it post-ictal and just smiling out like this and saying, I know, just the weirdest things that you say when they're talking to you to hear if you understand. And you do what you don't, and you can speak but you can't, and none of it makes sense, but you do come out of it. And, and I was fine, bit tongue, but I got through it. His shoes were on, his clothes were on, he was ready to roll and get down to the ER, and I just, I said, no, I'm okay, I'm going to call my doctor on call and get their advice, but wound up being, just more steps to leading to my second brain surgery, so there was a blessing there. And I'm bringing him in tomorrow to talk about all the different types, that he's dealt with, from that to humongous grand malls nonstop, and changing of medications, and the stress it can cause with mood changes, and the benefit of the blessing when you have faith. And when I get into the word deep, how much of a change in the mood that brings, and how much more love. And in between it all, even with the suffering, it does bring on a definite connection and a need for one another, and a reliance. And, it's odd but true that even though it's a type of a suffering, it's a type of a gift and a blessing to bring people together. And I'm going to be bringing, like I said, my friends onto this as well. I'm going to get Amy and Tom to talk about their case as well, because they definitely have gone through a lot as well, in addition. So, and trust me, I know many others that I'm going to be getting on here. If anybody out there wants to just either message me on Twitter or Facebook me, but Twitter me at twitter.com, and my name is Epilepsy Cures, or you can always send me an email at epilepsycures@gmail.com too. And I just want to give you all just a great thanks, and just to let you know, I want to tell you my favorite verse that I spoke at my Bible study with my mentor, Amy, before I went in for my second brain surgery. And this verse always grabbed me. And it's 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18, and it's always be joyful. Keep on praying, which I'm great at that. And no matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you, who belong to Christ Jesus. And we do. We have to know that, accept it, and love Him for all the ways that He can use this for His glory, and we can reach out and help others. And He's an amazing healer as I go on my third brain surgery. And I know it's going to bring a lot of good and not bad. So I love you all. Just message me, and God bless you all. And I pray that you have a wonderful night and an awesome Sunday. And I can't wait to see you all during the week too. Have a wonderful night.